Okay, welcome back. Today's going to be a great day. I'll tell you why. I've been experimenting a lot with this dough, and you're going to be very amazed as to what we can get out of it. And this demonstration that I'm going to be doing right now at this particular moment will be a pizza base. In other words, we're going to use the pizza mix. It's definitely our same dough. Nothing changes within the contents of this dough. The dough stays the same with the yeast and the sugar, and everything's measured and calibrated perfectly. What we're changing is the water content. Is how do we mix our dough? In this packet is exactly 500 grams. These measurements are critical. They are critical. Okay, there we go. 500 grams of flour. I like to use warm water, not cold water, because the warm water activates the yeast. We've got dry yeast in this dough, and you want to get that yeast giving off that carbon dioxide. It's like it gives all the bubbles and the gas and makes this dough light. And you will see how it all comes together. So measurements is critical. You've got to have a good scale. I'm going to weigh out the water here, and for 500 grams of flour, I'm going to use 300 grams of water, or 300 milliliters of water. Same thing. So I'm going to pour in, can you see the scale? Just to get it to 300. There we go. 300 grams exactly. Okay. Now for the mixing process. Initially, I'm going to use a spatula, because this stuff gets sticky. It sticks to your hands like hell, like a glue, and I've been through it too often. It's not pleasant. So we just get the initial stage going. There we go. Oh yes, I like. So, I think that's pretty much done. The rest I will do with my hands. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on our deck here. Voila. Now, kneading the dough. How do you know when it's ready? Very important question. You see how rough it is here? This is nowhere ready. When it becomes like plasticine, smooth, like a baby's bum, you know how smooth that is? Then you know you're there. It has a tendency to be a bit sticky. That's what you want. You don't want a dry mix. The dough must be slightly, there we go, sticking to me. That's what we want. It must feel hydrated. Hydrated means it must have that sticky water. You know there's water present in this mix. Oh. I'm picking up all the loose pieces here. Here they come. There we go. Now, when you mix it with lukewarm water, like bath water temperature, I would say, it's more like 37, 40 degrees. You don't have to be exact on that. you can feel your dough will have a little bit of warmth. It won't be ice cold when you're working with it. And we want this, the yeast, to grow. So, this here is the same as the pizza dough mix. And we're going to make a few other items out of this dough. So, it's looking smooth. We're nearly there. You can end up over kneading a dough, so be careful of that. You don't want to break the structure. So a lot of you people might use a machine. Don't leave it longer than 10 minutes. Oh, that feels... Now we've got a smooth texture. Yes, I like it. 500 grams of this dough should give you 4 portions of pizza. So you've got 500 grams of flour, 300 grams of water comes to 800 grams. 800 grams divided by 4 is 200 gram portions. And that gives you 4 pizzas, or 4 calzones, which we're doing today. Out of the same dough, I'm going to make a few other items. I'm going to make grissini breadsticks out of it. I'm going to make panzerotti. Panzerotti, you'll see what that is. And the calzone out of this one particular dough. Now, most important part of this, we've got to let it sit in a sealed container, so Tupperware container. So what I've done, I've already prepared this morning. It's been sitting for 2 hours, and here we go. Here's your pizza dough that's been sitting for 2 hours. You can see the bubbles. This has risen very nicely. I cover it with a lid. You don't want air to get in there. You don't want it to dry it on top. It must be wet. As you can see, that's beautiful. I'm just going to wet my hands. My hands are wet so that this dough doesn't stick. There we go. Sticky, moist. There we go. Beautiful. Nice and soft, full of air. I do not want to damage the air sacs that's inside there. I'm going to cut this into a quarter. There's 1/4. That's fine. You don't want it too dry, otherwise you can't roll the balls, they'll slide around. There we go. Beautiful, nice and soft. Your 4 balls. I'm going to want to make 2 things out of this. The one is the grissini, which is a famous, it's a famous bread sticks. You always see them in the restaurant in a glass jar with these sticks inside. When you go to a restaurant, they're always there, but they don't come for free. So when you eat those sticks, you think they're lying there, they're for free? No, 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 no. You're going to pay for that. Trust me. I learned that the hard way. So, we're going to have some fun with these grissinis. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. This is endless what you can do with these things. You can roll them with sesame seeds, make them a little bit fatter. I'm going to make these two a little bit fatter because I want to fill them with cheese. I want to sprinkle cheese on top. And the other one I'm going to do with a few olives. So I'll take some olives just to give it a bit of a little olive flavor. There we go. And roll it. These olives will be absorbed into the bread. And the other one I'm going to do with sesame. There we go. Okay, we've got a little trick here. We're going to wet this bread. There we go. Now they're sticking. So they need a bit of encouragement, that's fine. Okay. How thin, how thick? This is the last one we're going to do. We're going to also do the same thing, except I'm going to do it with some cheese. Parmigiano. My Parmesan cheese is finely grated. Don't do it rough. Do use that micro grating. I'll show it to you now. This is what the utensil looks like. It's got that microfilm, and that is what we use to do the Parmigiano. There we go. Roll it. I like. And this is a plain one, which I'm going to do just with a little bit of salt. Okay. There we go. And these go straight in the oven. There we go. These have been in probably 8 minutes. Beautiful. So, these are breadsticks. They're quite firm, but let's just see. Got a little bit of holes in the center there, which is what we want. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. I'd like to give it a taste. Olive. You can taste the olives. Let me cut this in half. You see the holes? You can see how the yeast has reacted. Beautiful, light. And if you like, you can butter it. You can put anchovy on it. Or you eat it with a dip, garlic mayonnaise dip. You can dip it in there. There's your one grissini, and here's the one with the Parmigiano. Also beautiful. Beautiful. Cooked through, cheese on top. Stunning. There's your breadsticks.